Shafat ya Rasul Kareem, inshaAllah let's go to our emails, our YouTubes everything, and try to keep whatever we have based on the talkings. If anything is again always being conscious that we have thousands of people listening, and that the question has to be relevant to the bulk of people. Any question that's new is not that it's bad, but they can ask it via email, how to meditate, those are very basic introductory understandings that I'm sure that the people whom are watching and watching for years don't want to keep revisiting those. Not that they're bad questions, because new people have alhamdulillah these questions. So by email we already have these in letters and with links to articles, everything inshaAllah. But if we can somewhat stay upon these topics, for us it's a litmus test that when we talked about all these subjects and there's no questions, means that one, people are not going for the weekend trying to contemplate. They hear it and then they want the next one, then the next one, then the next one, but they really didn't absorb it. But when we hear something, we used to go back and meditate the whole week on those subjects. That what was masjid? It wasn't about, oh I have a problem praying, but what was the meme, the scene? What were those huroofs? What was the jeem and what was the dal? And then we would meditate on these realities to open them up and to go deeper into these realities inshaAllah. But people have a busy life and inshaAllah we see. You guys can switch off, one from you, one from Zishan, one from you, one from Zishan, until we're off for the night inshaAllah.
As-salamu alaykum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh Sayyidi.
Wa alaykum as-salam wa rahmatullah.
Does failing to achieve a daily awrad equate to neglecting the remembrance of Allah, potentially resulting in divine punishment?
No, you can't make something halal and mandatory. The tariqah is under the hadith that they did the fard and now they're coming through voluntary worship, because we're trying to get Allah's muhabbat and love and to dress us from this hadith al-Qudsi, "I be the eyes in which you see, the ears in which you hear, the hands in which you feel, the feet in which you move." This hadith that we continue. As-salamu alaykum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This is Shaykh Nurjan. Thank you for watching the video that you're watching. InshaAllah if you're happy with the content and happy with these programs, please support the button below, the programs that we have for our orphanage repairs, our water well, Give the Gift of Life, our mobile food vans. We have now 5 vans: Vancouver, Chicago, Los Angeles, Pakistan. There's many programs that reach thousands of people and rescue foods and give those supplies to people in need. Your support is greatly appreciated. Also be so kind as to leave loving comments and please share the stream, every bit counts. As-salamu alaykum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Continuously teach about. So these are acts of love. So the tariqahs are mandatory to follow the way and the path of Prophet, but the awrads and wazifas and zikrs that they give are for the students' benefits, like a prescription of how to uplift oneself. Otherwise you ask, okay I'm being attacked at night, okay you're not doing wazifa. Oh I don't have memory, you're not doing wazifa. I don't feel like I want to pray, okay you're not doing your wazifa. So everything they give to us is to grant us like a pill, an energy pill for himmah. So when we do the awrad, we do the etiquettes, we do the recitations they gave to us, it's a energy and a himmah, so that I can keep up at the pace of which the shaykh is teaching. If I don't keep running the laps, if you're in your gym class and you don't run 1 lap and then when he says next day you don't run 2 laps, you don't run, you're falling behind and you pretty much will fall out of the tariqah. And the adab of the awrad is that if we don't do the awrad for a day, it becomes like 100 days of difficulty upon us. It was not to be missed by 1 day. but people are busy and don't pay heed to it, and then they come back and wonder why nothing opens or why they feel nothing. The awrad is not something small, it's a lifeline to the heart of the shaykhs. And as soon as we dial up, we begin to do the wazifa, it's a lock for that day, one from any difficulty coming and for any faiz. Maybe that day Allah's going to be sending a faiz and blessing upon the shaykh. Those whom logged on receive it. And maybe you didn't log on and that's the day azab is coming to you, like a big brick from a truck falling off heading for your window. And you didn't do your wazifa and you didn't do this and you didn't do that. Means you never know when difficulty facing somebody. It's not a result of not doing that, but the wazifa was our protection, so that it made a shield of protection and blessings. And even we did the wazifa and something was diminished or saved, maybe only property was damaged but the physicality was saved. In a day in which oppression is coming so fast that it can ricochet, somebody means to shoot somebody, it bounces off a wall and hits you, God forbid. Oppression doesn't even have to be directed towards the servant, it can be directed towards somebody else and it ricochets and hits another person. So this is a life in which we need all the protection possible. We try to do the recitations to the best of our abilities. Don't save it for the end of the night, it should be done throughout the beginning of the day. Fajr time up on time you're going to school and work, finish it. Anyone who keeps it for the end of the night will fall asleep and pass it. This is shaitan's job. He's going to make the person fall asleep without accomplishing it. So these are the hikmah of their teachings, they've been doing for 35 years their practices, so they know to do it at the beginning of the day and never at the end of the day, inshaAllah. Because you want the protection for the beginning of the day too.
As-salamu alaykum Sayyidi.
Wa alaykum salam.
You mentioned last night that the path is grounded in ability to see the subtle signs of guidance, which is a gift from Allah. Can a student increase their ability to see and hear these subtle and hidden signs? Jazakallah.
We mentioned last night that everything's about signs and subtleties. Do we have the ability to increase our subtlety to pick up the signs? Yes, what we described was all the tafakkur and contemplation. And the example we gave is that why Sayyidina Musa missed Sayyidina Khidr. And this is the big prophets of Allah, but this for us is just an understanding. If your path in life is always moving fast, you're going to miss everything because you're going too fast. And if you drive a street every day, I guarantee you one day walk on the street. You may have driven that street for years but you really never even saw the street. And if you park your car on the same path and say, today I'm going just to walk to understand, and you get out on your car and you walk, everything is different. I didn't know this sign was here, I didn't know that building was there, I didn't know this was here. Because the pace in which you're moving is so fast, you see only what you want to see at the speed you want to see, but you're not really seeing everything there. And there lies the secret. Some people walk and they find, oh, there was a shop, I never knew this shop was here, this is amazing, I'm going to go to this shop now. Maybe it had something that was of interest to you and years you drove very fast, you never saw that. And Sayyidina Musa gave the example. So, well, I didn't see the sign. Say, yeah, the dried fish came to life and went into water. That seems like it's a huge sign, how do you miss something like that? Where your lunch comes to life and jumps back into an ocean. If my lunch came to life and jumped back into ocean, I hope I would have seen that. So means that you got to slow our path down. When we take our path a little bit slower, read a little bit slower the Qur'an, go back and don't trust any of their translations, because a translation means a tafsir of what that man wants you to understand. Who's that man? Because even the dead scholars, their tafsirs have changed and it wasn't from the grave. Why? Because the corrupt rulers, they change everything. Had you only stayed, O pagan people, on the way. It had nothing to do with pagan people, it was not even recited the word pagan people. Istaqamu fi tariqat, their translation, and had the pagan people only stayed and they accepted Islam. They're making all these words up. You know, Qur'an wasn't revealed as a story where a complete chapter was given, this is a story, it all has to be all together. Verses came over 23 years. Each verse is its own power. Each verse is independent of any other verse. Each verse has its own reality. Multiple verses can be brought together, alhamdulillah, for clarifications or to expand upon a reality, but yet the verse itself is independent and has its own secret, its own immense reality, and the depth of its reality will be linked into its huroof. Means even the thought of it is still not yet the reality. Its huroof will unlock even deeper realities of just the verse. But these people with tafsirs, they're trying to manipulate people, their agenda, their belief. They don't want the word tariqah to be known, they don't want the concept of guidance. I think the next verse we recited last night, that don't leave the dhikrullah, dhikra rabbihu. It was the dhikr of your Rabb in the verse last night. It wasn't only the dhikr of Allah, but don't leave the dhikr of your Rabb. So even it's immense, Qur'an is immense and it's being manipulated by a person trying to give its interpretation. So you read slowly, go look back at the transliteration, the Arabic word, contemplate, and then its realities and its dress begin to dress. Same with the shaykh's talks, same with holy hadith, the shaykh's talks. Our whole path is based on slowing down, inshaAllah. Any sign that you've missed in life, if Allah wants you to find it, it should appear again, but if you're going slower, inshaAllah you don't miss it that time, this time.
As-salamu alaykum Sayyidi.
Wa alaykum salam wa rahmatullah.
Regarding the verse 16 and 17 of Surah Jinn, when Allah says, we would have given them abundant water in order to test them with it. Can abundance in life also be cause of increased testing? Jazakallah.
Can the abundance in life be a means of testing?
Naam Sayyidi.
Yeah, that's something different. But this testing is that Allah is giving to us that your tariqah is not going to be easy. That's why we're giving you the abundance of mim and alif. This is an immense reality. When we say ummi, it's alif mim. When we say mim alif, it's my. Every haqqaiq is the reality of la ilaha illAllah Muhammadun Rasulillah. What is that called? The two rivers. Where Nabi Musa wanted salam, I won't stop until I reach where the two rivers meet. But the two rivers analogy is throughout Qur'an. Anytime alif and mim, if you're calling ummi, it has the immense haqqaiq that Allah didn't need anyone to teach the mim, and Allah taught directly, فَشَدِيدُ الْقُوَّةِ, that Allah was the teacher for the mim of Sayyidina Muhammad. When we say my, That Allah said, everything is coming from this life, is this my. And we described last night, what is my then? If all creation is coming from my, and they say all creation comes from water. Higher than that is that all creation comes from La ilaha illAllah Muhammadun Rasulillah. Because La ilaha illAllah can never be seen, is a qudra, a power. When the power hits and it's going to manifest, it manifests as the ocean of Muhammadun Rasulullah. So this is now a deeper understanding of my, that my throne was upon the my. What throne? My izzah, my might is upon this reality. So yeah, it's immense, Qur'an is immense, is an infinite ocean of Allah's Divinely speech. InshaAllah.
As-salamu alaykum Sayyidi.
Wa alaykum salam.
Sayyidi, what's the reality of Imam Mahdi this night? Also moon is rusting orange red with hematite iron oxide. Is it related to Imam Mahdi?
InshaAllah for Shab al-Barat we described all of its immense blessings, and another reality of Nisf Shaban is the holy birth of Imam Mahdi salam. So wiladat Imam Sahib al-Zaman Sayyidina Muhammad al-Mahdi salam is then celebrated on this night as a means for us to achieve and receive even more blessings. Because this becomes the sign of a mu'min and a mukhlis. Who's a mukhlis in Allah's eyes? When we just described to you, many people are going to have affliction and they thought they were mu'mins. How are you mu'min if you don't accept Muhammadun Rasulullah that he came to give you the Divinely laws, the characters of a Divinely presence, of heavenly presence. And if you don't accept them and you mock them, then what laws are you following? What Divinely character are you following? Then who's a mukhlis? Can there be a mukhlis who doesn't accept that Sayyidina Mahdi is coming? No, you can't even be Muslim, and you can't be muhsin, and you can't be mukhlis. And they say with their tongue, anyone who believes in Sayyidina Mahdi we will never talk to them. The ones building huge events and stadiums. Why? Why would they believe when they put all their eggs in building unnecessary structures, not building the hearts of people? And even we said today, shaitan fools people with what they perceive to be noble acts. They want to build masjids. But what is the intention for their masjid? To be the president? And then when they don't like the other guy being a president, they want to build a masjid. Then the next guy, he wants to build a masjid until each masjid has two people in it. One president, one vice president, and the next one president, one vice president. Because it wasn't for Allah, it was for their own benefit, for their own glory and their own pride. And that's why we talked, and then what is the huroof of masjid? What does the word even mean? Means sujood and sajda. Sin, jeem, dal. Means where the abode of sajda. When we make a masjid, its only focus is in sujood, that this will be an abode in which we prostrate often, in which we submit ourselves often into the Divinely Presence. And that's why the talk on that subject, then the real masjids of Allah is the heart of the believer. And the real contractors and builders of masajids are who? Are the shaykhs, they build masjids. Other people build buildings and problems, because they build these buildings then they fight over them. But the one whom builds the masjid of Allah are the shuyukh, in which they taught the servants, clean your heart, make it to be a haramain, no haram into the heart, so that your qalb al-mu'min baytullah, become a mu'min, real mu'min. And we said you can't be a mu'min without the love of Sayyidina Muhammad. There's no way you can become a mukhlis without the love of Imam Mahdi. It's a sign of maqam al-ihsan, it's a sign of perfection. Zahiri shaykhs they say, we don't know, we know who's coming. Okay, you're definitely not a mukhlis, I don't know if you're even in the category of mu'min. What is it that you believe? A servant's belief is qiyamah's tomorrow, and I'm going to pray all night because tomorrow maybe the world will be wiped off. I wake up, oh okay, we're going on, and I work my entire day as if it's going to be living forever, and I pray my entire night as if it's going to be ending and this is my last night. This is what Imam Ali gave to us. So how can you possibly think that these are end days are coming and you don't believe in Imam Mahdi and the family of Prophet and all the hadiths and all the realities of days coming to an end? So what do you think, this life is forever? So then Allah describes, oh you must be from those people who think they want to live 1,000 years on this earth. So inshaAllah.
As-salamu alaykum Sayyidi.
Wa alaykum salam rahmatullah.
Sayyidi, in this huroof of Masjid, can you speak a little bit about the dot in the jeem?
The dot in the jeem, yeah, we talked about. This is from the essence of hayat and the ha. This is like the structure of the body. So this ha and hayat and the oceans of reality. So what made Sayyidina Jibreel to have his power was the huroof. When Allah want to bring something into existence, its power is in the huroof Allah attributed to it. That dot, that nuqt, that's the nuqt when the Qawb Qawsayni or Adna comes together. We described in other talks, what happens when two power lines come very close together, they don't even touch, oh adna, an energy ball all of a sudden begins to appear. That nuqt is a power, that nuqt is an immense power. As soon as it's under the ba, it becomes like the atomic reality and atomic oceans, it's a power supporting everything. And Imam Ali described, I'm the nuqt, means that an immense power on the reality of the soul of Imam Ali. But between Allah's la ilaha illAllah and the immense haqqaiq of Muhammadun Rasulillah, when they come together a nuqt appears. That nuqt is an entire creation coming into existence in immense power. As a result Allah put that nuqt in the ha and made it to be a jeem, and as a result of that nuqt it gives the ability to carry the message of Allah, the lights of Holy Qur'an and the love and ishq and muhabbat of Sayyidina Muhammad. What was the purpose of the nuqt? When the nuqt left to begin to come towards dunya, it was to give the message of Islam. When Sayyidina Jibreel brought it was to bring the commands of the heaven onto the earth. When given to the servant it gives them the ability to understand heavenly knowledges, which is the Holy Qur'an with the light of Muhammadun Rasulillah. So you have to come to the dal. Who's the one whom is the greatest daleel and guide of Allah? Prophet. So now we understand that the masjids, they are all about Muhammadiyun, because you have to come to Dalail Khairat, the best of guides, and that He make you to be a reality of jeem in the levels of the heart we described. If your meditation and tafakkur is strong, Sayyidina Jibreel in the station of the qalb begins to open his light into your heart. Because why he wants to keep bringing you messages and realities. If you're going to be the servant of realities, Sayyidina Jibreel must open his light within your heart, and this is the station of the qalb. If he begins to open, this means he's depositing a nukht into you. By means of this nukht, these ilham can begin to come. Risalat for Prophet, for muhibbeen ashiqeen is ilham and inspiration. How is inspiration going to come to a servant if that nukht not within their heart? So now they came through the best of guides. Their hearts and the qalb of their reality is beginning to open. What is it open to? The Master Yasin Sayyidina Muhammad. Why? Because they're coming into the secrets, the secret of all light and the light of all secrets, and this began ilmu yaqeen, ayna yaqeen, haqqu yaqeen. The meme then stands alone and describes what you've achieved. What have you achieved if you achieved all these realities? You are Muhammadiyun, now you belong in a masjid. So the masjid were the abode of the Muhammadiyun, that's why they come in sunnah. That's why the mimbar is based on the sunnat of Nabi. Everything in the masjid, because the heart is based on the realities of Prophet. But now it's just the abode of fitna and argument. There's no more Muhammadiyun. InshaAllah.
As-salamu alaykum Sayyidi.
Wa alaykum salam wa rahmatullah.
Sayyidi, if we have a bad year written for us in the next year, can it be changed if we stay up and worship all night?
Yeah, why not? How do you know it was a bad year? Perception of bad is in Allah's hands. Maybe it was a year in which Allah wanted lots of struggling to give you lots of rewards. Perception of good and bad is sometimes not correct with people. So some people need to struggle in Allah's way and Allah's granting them immense rewards. Some people, if you just give them a whole bunch, they become fat and do nothing. So struggling in Allah's way is something greatly misunderstood by most people. They think if the abundance opens for them, Allah's happy with them. No, that maybe Allah's forgotten you. But the one whom Allah continuously making them to struggle, strive, struggle, strive, they're like warriors for Allah, because they don't stay down. If a little difficulty comes and you go down, it's finished for you. But the one whom is in Allah's way means they never go down. Whatever Allah sends they get right back up and keep going, keep going, keep going. So our concept of victory is misunderstood. Victory is only with Allah and to us belongs the struggle, inshaAllah. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifoon wa salaamun al mursaleen walhamdulillahi rabbil alameen bi hurmati Muhammadun Mustafa wa bi siri Surat al-Fatiha. As-salamu alaykum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This is Shaykh Nurjan. Thank you for watching the video that you're watching. InshaAllah, if you're happy with the content and happy with these programs, please support the button below. The programs that we have for our orphanage repairs, our water well, Give the Gift of Life, our mobile food vans. We have now 5 vans: Vancouver, Chicago, Los Angeles, Pakistan. There's many programs that reach thousands of people and rescue foods and give those supplies to people in need. Your support is greatly appreciated.
Also be so kind as to leave loving comments, and please share the stream. Every bit counts. As-salamu alaykum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.